Do you still use the VLOOKUP function in Excel? In this video, I will go through why you should stop using the VLOOKUP function and instead use the XLOOKUP function, and that is if you have an Excel version that's from 2019 or newer. The VLOOKUP function came out more than 4 decades ago, and there are some flaws with it, and 2019 Microsoft launched their newer, better version XLOOKUP. It's easier to use and it's better. And in this video, I will explain the both functions and why the XLOOKUP function is better. And you use the XLOOKUP or VLOOKUP function when you want to retrieve a value, when you want to get a value. So it's a lookup function. You search for a value, for example, apples, in another array, for example, the B column. Once you get a match, here you get a match, then you want to get the amounts. And before you use the VLOOKUP function, and the first argument is the same in both functions, it's the lookup value. What is it you want to search for? Then in the second argument of the VLOOKUP, you're supposed to select all columns from the columns where you search from to the column where you want to get your value. So in this case, both are B and C columns. And then in the third argument, you need to write the number on how many columns you were selecting. So if I write number 2, I will find my value in the B column and then get from the second column. So in this case, number 2. And then for some reason, the default was to have an approximate match, and that could cause some problems. So you always made sure that you write false in the end. And that is, of course, default in the new XLOOKUP function. And then you close it, and then you will get 50. If you change the apple here to be orange, the value will change to 20. And very often when you use the VLOOKUP was that you nested an if error function. What will happen when you don't find the lookup value in the lookup array? And then in the end of the VLOOKUP function, what should happen? And here you write either 0 or 2 quotation mark, meaning an empty cell. Let's talk about the false before I demonstrate the XLOOKUP function. First of all, if error, what should happen if you can't find the lookup value? This is a built-in argument in the new XLOOKUP function. For example, let's say that you add a column between the B and C column, then it will still say 2 here, but that will not get you the amount because it will get you what's in the C column. Let's say we add here, then you see now it's 0 here because it will get from this cell here. And another flaw is that you could also only search in the left column and get a value from the right column. With the XLOOKUP function, it doesn't matter if you look horizontally, vertically, and you can also, even with the XLOOKUP function, get more than one value at a time. And also, like I said, the false here is default in the new XLOOKUP function. So let's try to use it. XLOOKUP, the lookup value is the same. We look for the apple, and the lookup array, here you only select one array. That could be a column, an array of cells, a row, or an array of cells in a row. If the data is structured like this, we could select the entire B column, and then our third argument is what is it we want to return. And the array here should be the same amount of cells. So if we just select a couple of cells here, 4 cells here, and then go to a return array, we need to select 4 cells here as well. And like I said, you can return multiple values at the same time if you select multiple columns here. Then you will get both 50, what's in the E column and what's in the F column. And these 3 arguments are mandatory. And if I don't want to use the other 3, I can just close it and press enter and get the 50. But we have 3 optional arguments. If not found, that's the if error built into this function. So what should happen if we can't find our lookup value in our lookup array? Perhaps we want to write 0 here, and then our match mode, that's the same as when we wrote false. Here's the default an exact match, but here you could also search for an exact match or the next smaller or larger item. For example, if you have A, B, C, and here you have 90, 70, and 50, and these are the grades, and to get the A you need 90 or above. then you can search for the value, for example here 40, and the next smaller item in this case, if D is 0, that will generate a D, this will generate a C, D, and C. And that's possible with the fifth argument. And then we have search mode. As a default, you search from the top to the bottom or from the right to the left, but here you can search the other way around. So that's the VLOOKUP function and the XLOOKUP function in Excel, and I recommend for you to stop learning everything you know about VLOOKUP and just learn the XLOOKUP and use it next time instead.